Your comp cruises are completely determined by something called Theo or theoretical. And if you don't understand what Theo means, then you're never going to understand how to earn comp cruises, how you're awarded comp cruises, and how casino decide what your value is in their eyes. What's up, guys? This is Brandon with Travel Plus One Life. And I've been on 21 cruises. The last 10 have been comp cruises, and comp cruising has changed my life. I went through 3 years of some pretty terrible health, and I'm in a more stable environment at the moment. And I'm using comp cruising to see the world, to travel, to meet new people. And I want to teach other people how to do the same. And one of the most important terms you can learn is Theo or theoretical. And we just in lesson 2 talked about RTP or return to player, which is very important. And that kind of leads right into Theo or theoretical loss. What casinos are thinking about when they're trying to determine your value to them long term. Now, we've talked about different types of comp cruises and different types of certificates you can earn. So you can earn points-based certificates for your annual tier loyalty respective type cruises. And you can also earn instant certificates, which are points-based, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But your overall value in terms of how the casino marketing departments on cruise ships view you all comes down to Theo. And it's a very simple equation. It's basically what we talked about, house edge. So if you're playing slots with a 90% return to player, then there's a 10% house edge. And you have, let's say you spend $1,000, that gives you a 10% times 1,000, which is $100 Theo. So if you went on a 2-night cruise, you spent $1,000 playing slots with a 90% RTP and a 10% house edge, you would end up with $100 theoretical loss. You could leave that session having won $1,500. You could leave that session having lost $3,000. This is where people get so mixed up when it comes to asking questions of how much a free cruise costs, because it's not about the wins or the losses, especially short term. This is where people get it wrong. They'll see someone who's earned an amazing cruise offer, an email marketing offer or a certificate, and they're like, wow, how much did you lose to get this? Or how much did you spend to get this? Now, if it's an ongoing marketing offer that you're getting in the mail or an email, postcard type thing like that, this is going back to our theoretical loss discussion. And even some of the comps you get while you're sailing, such as a free bottle of wine, a free trip to the massage parlor, the spa, a free steak dinner. All of these are determined by how much Theo, which is probabilistic future losses the casino considers. So again, they aren't concerned with how much you lose or win on this initial trip, or even, over a couple of trips, but they are concerned about how much you're playing and how big your bet size is and how tight of a time frame all of that is compressed into, because all of that makes a higher amount on your trip times your RTP, which equals a higher theoretical loss long term. Because the casinos know two things. In the long term, over the long term, they're going to win. That's why no machines have 100% return to player. And two, that the longer they can keep you playing, the more likely that you're going to lose. So there's even a 4-hour rule that you can research, where once you hit a 4-hour mark, your likelihood of losing all of your winnings back for that night increases. So these are all things you can study, and we can dive in deeper. I'm happy to answer additional questions. But this is where two different people can spend the same amount of money and have two different values in the casino's eyes. So first of all, say two people go, one person plays video poker all the time with a 98% RTP and a 2% house edge, and they spend $1,000, and that leaves $20 in Theo. They're worth very little to a casino. But if that same person, or if a different person spends that same budget of $1,000 on a slot machine with an 85% RTP, that's $150 Theo. And so casinos are thinking about, okay, this person has this much potential loss long term to me. So we want to get them back in the doors. An interesting thing about cruise casinos also is that you're a captive audience. So if you go to a land casino, lose some money, you can get in your car and drive off. If you're on a boat and you lose some money, you're not going anywhere. So this is, again, where you have to be very careful about what your budget is, your limits on how much you're willing to lose before you even go in. How much you're willing to let the casino be a part of that entertainment budget. All of these things are important. You don't want things to get out of hand. So it's really important you consider all of that before you even plan this trip. But once they determine your Theo, especially if you can develop a pattern over multiple cruises, you're going to have a set value in their minds. And again, you could take it even further. If two people spend $5,000, but one person plays table games the whole time, there's all that subjectivity that we've talked about in the rating system from the pit boss and your bets, and when they happen to see what you're betting and how it's laid out, and other variabilities, versus someone that spends that same amount in slots only with a lower RTP and a higher house edge. They're going to end up with a higher theoretical value, a higher long-term probabilistic loss. They're going to have more value to the casino. And the biggest thing you can understand at the end of this is how two people can spend the same amount of money in the casino on the same trip, but they can get two totally different ongoing marketing offers. It's really, because you see a lot of people, even spouses will play in the casino, spend the same amount of money, and they're like, man, they can even be the same loyalty tier. And their offers are different because their Theos are different. Their theoretical loss or their theoretical value when it comes to the casino is different. They just have different long-term values. So the casinos know, even if they get this person back in, they're going to generate less profit from them versus getting their spouse back in, or your friend or your mom, whoever it is. But understanding Theos is very important for understanding your long-term value to a casino. So once you kind of get your head wrapped around this and return RTP, then you can start to understand how some of these figures work out and how the casinos are viewing you and how you're getting some of your marketing offers. So just take all this into account, let it start marinating as we move on to other lessons. And I hope you're able to understand. If you have any questions, put them below. Subscribe for ongoing videos and more information. And just remember to travel. Life is short, so you might as well travel. Thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, guys.